Right, here we go. So let's start with a statement as we get going here. The world sees kingship as power, dominance, and birth order. But there's a different version of kingship that we're going to talk about tonight. It's God's version. His version is completely different. When God talks, when the Bible talks about kingship, we're talking about a divine appointment. And here's what you have to know. This divine appointment is offered to every man. And I say this all the time. Every man is called, but let's call it what it is. There are very few who are listening. The spiritual meaning of a man as a king represents mature, providential masculinity. And I know that's a big, crazy word, 3 words. I'm going to say them again. Mature, providential masculinity. Now, this level of spiritual maturity is characterized by self-mastery, personal responsibility, and at the end of the day, validation. So let me welcome everybody to Masculine to the Core and the Campfire Talks. This is our Tuesday night live men's mastermind call. If you're here listening to joining us live, all you need is a telephone to join us live here, man. We're grateful you're here. But if you're listening to the recorded version or watching the recorded version in the video, let me tell you, welcome as well. If you'd like to join us on the live part, because basically what we do is we have a lesson out of the Bible, either a verse or a chapter or something that goes on in the Bible, and I share about it here for a little bit, and then we open up the lines for a conversation with other men about, number one, what the Bible lesson means to them. Number two, we talk about how it fits into our framework for living here at Masculine in the Core called The Quest. Tonight we're going to talk, you'll hear me mention it all the time, the 8 key areas every modern man must master. Tonight we're going to focus on personal growth and a story about who is viewed as truly the greatest warrior in the Bible, the warrior king in the Bible. But if you want to join us, if you're watching the video or listening to the podcast, if you want to join us, you can check out a video about what we're doing here, and www.masculinetothecore.com/campfire, and or you can just text me at 615-972-7701. We'll share with you the information to get you going. So again, we're going to talk about a Bible story tonight that fits into the framework for living called The Quest. The Quest actually has 5 phases. Phase number 1 is what am I settling for that I'm done settling for? Number 2 is who am I willing to become? And that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about tonight in the this whole concept of personal growth. Phase number 3 is do I take personal responsibility for where I am so I can take personal responsibility for where I'm going? Phase number 4 is do I have what it takes to be the man God created me to be and to become? That will kind of pop into what we're talking about on this session as well. And phase number 5 is about being a man of impact. How do I leave this world better than I found it when it's time for me to go spend time with God? So everything that we do here at Masculine in the Core is all about, helping men understand their true identity and their higher purpose. The purpose of the Quest is to help men become more God-centered and fulfillment-driven. So let's start, as we always do, with a prayer that we say every Tuesday night on the Campfire Talks. Heavenly Father, we invite you into this circle. We ask that you bless us individually as in a group, and as a group, guide us to connect with men who, like us, want to be defined by our masculine walk with you. Give us the strength and the courage we need as we go from arena to arena, battling our Goliaths, knowing that his number 1 mission is to make us quit before we discover how powerful you created us to be and to become. Bless all of our relationships. Help us be the husbands and the fathers that you expect us to be. Bless our finances and our career choices. Help us be the businessman you expect us to be. Bless our physical and mental health. Show us how we can be willing to do more, to become more, to have more, to serve more. So again, tonight we are going to talk about a story around King David. I think we all remember the story of David and Goliath, right? I talk about it all the time, and I just mentioned it in the prayer. Us as men, this being a man thing is a difficult deal. We stand toe to toe with Goliath every single day in our career, in our finances, our relationships, our health choices. In Goliath's number one mission, again, is to make us quit before we discover how powerful God created us to be and to become. But I want to share a part of King David's story that so many men miss in their trip through the Bible. This is actually, I outlined this in section 404 of the book, Masculine the Core. The title of the section is Validate the Kings. And I'm going to go through part of this as it relates to the story. So what does it mean to you? I mean, when I talk about the world's view of kingship as power, dominance, it means that mastering your life, mastering your world starts with mastering yourself. The key area number one out of the 8 key areas we all have to master, it's about personal growth. It's about mastering ourselves. But here's what you have to understand. This game is about winning the battles that you fight in private. The battles nobody else sees. It's learning how to control your thoughts, how to choose courage instead of fear and anxiety. It's choosing to control your emotions instead of them controlling you. Within every man is a violent red personality type, but that's also the man who is passionate about, being a great husband and being a great father. It's about being the right man who does the right things in the right ways for the right reasons, even when no one is watching. Because here's the deal. You can't lead your family. You can't be successful at your career. You can't be successful in your own life. You can't live with purpose if you're at war with yourself. True humility means accepting your divine appointment as the king over the kingdom God blessed you with. This means your validation of you through this divine appointment. But it comes with understanding that the true authority in this whole deal is not us in our own making. This is about us partnering with God to create the life that He put us on this earth to live. It's about getting your strength from your connection to and the validation of Jesus Christ as the King of Kings. We're the king of our world, but Christ is the king of the universe. True authority and kingship flows from a heart that is surrendered to your commitment, your divine relationship with God. Well, I talk about it all the time. The divine relationship, your relationship with you, it's a combination of two things. Your relationship with you and your relationship with God. So accepting this divine appointment, let me tell you, brother, it comes with a price. And once you understand this, once you get this in your life, there is no going back. You will not be able to settle for anything less. Self-worth I am, self-confidence I can, self-image I become. I am, I can, I become represents the internal guidance system for men who are aligned with the idea that spirituality and masculinity cannot be used in different sentences. Spirituality and masculinity are one and the same. So how does this relate to King David? Long before anyone knew who he was, right? King David as a boy, he was just a shepherd. As boring as that sounds, right? Just sitting around with a bunch of dumb animals, watching the sheep. But he wasn't just sitting around watching the sheep. Here's what you have to understand. He wasn't just directing the stupid animals. David was committed to his own personal growth because he was preparing himself. He wasn't just sitting around watching the sheep. He was defending those sheep from lions, as he was doing that, he was mastering the life skill of the warrior it would take him, that he would eventually become. He became a musician as he did the work on himself, sitting in silence. No crowd, no applause, just him practicing hour upon hour. And if you get into the Bible and start understanding that David prided himself in these songs of worship that he sang. And it wasn't just a switch that he flipped on. He didn't become a warrior just by flipping a switch. He didn't become a great musician by just flipping a switch. The countless hours that he spent with his sling, learning how to defend the flock, and his harp, when there was, again, no crowd watching, God prepared him, and his skill brought him into the king's palace, and the skill with the sling brought him victory in the battlefield. God prepares each of us in the hidden places of our lives. He prepares us in the hidden places for what he has for us in public. The years David spent alone wasn't wasted time. They were his training. It was in his aloneness that he learned to depend on God, develop true intimacy with God, and forged the character that would one day sustain him as a king. So let me ask you a question. What about you? It's the unseen hours that you have to put in to develop your strengths. It's mastering your relationships, mastering your profession, mastering your physical and your mental health. It's the time you spend in prayer when it's only you and God. You see, we all want to be we all want the victory over Goliath, right? We want the celebration. We want those huge moments of look at me in my life. But what we don't want to do is spend the time and the resources to master ourselves. God looks for men he can trust to become men of impact. And that level of trust comes from being in an arena where you have no dark corners. This is a place where you develop your strengths. You develop your strengths in silence for the things that God is going to call you to do in public. If you are faithful in the shepherd's field of your life, God will know that he can trust you with your master assignment. You have been given. God has an assignment waiting on you, but you must first master yourself. Validate yourself as the king of your kingdom. Be sure you turn your life over to the King of all kings who reigns supreme over all kingdoms. And that's the end of kind of this session of it. We are going to open the lines, and guys on the line are going to have a conversation about what we talked about, King David and his personal growth. So again, if you want to join us live, we'd love to have you live. You can go to www.masculinetothecore.com/campfire or text campfire to 615-972-7701. We'd love to have you live. We are, if you're listening to or watching a recorded version of this, we'll see you on the next session. Have a great day. You absolutely deserve it. Bye for now.